Okay. So yesterday we talked about list and set. Today we are going to talk about map. So I will keep employee object, same thing, and let's go back to the collection here. So now I'm going to create a new method.
Screen.
Pardon me?
We can't see your screen.
Wait a minute then. I did not share. Sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay, sure. So I'll remove this method because this is what we used in example yesterday. Let's talk about how maps works now. I am creating a new method and map. I'm just saying, map demo. Now, so in the list and set, you are stored directly the elements, without having any key reference. Map is a little bit different. You will have key and value pair concept. Key and value. So meaning every key in a map will be associated with a value. So now when you create, key can be anything and value can be anything, meaning key can be any object type and value can be any object type. So now let's look at the basic stuff now. So I'm map, string, and the second one is also of type string. So in a map, I'm trying to store key also as a string type and value is also a string type. I'm saying some names, or yeah, probably names, or something like employee details. New hash map. Now, so now I'm keeping elements in map. So again, this is also similarly like in the Oracle documentation, the same thing, .oracle.com. You can go here and look at, let's see the hash map. I'll go to, not really here. I wanted to navigate to the map. Java hash map. That's it. You're going to get it. So there you go. Yeah. So this, it's also in the same package, util package. You can see the class name is hash map. It will take key and value pairs, and this is implements map interface. You can see here, this class is implemented map interface, and you can have all different constructors available and also methods available in hash map class. And you can see a lot of different methods, clear, clone, and I'll go over some of these methods, and later on you have to read all these methods and try to practice the samples. Now, so I'm going to explain you this put method. So now here to store elements and key value pairs inside a map, you can use put method available. So put string and string, because we have created an element of type string and string. Key and value is string and string. That's why it is suggested you put key and value. Any key of string type you can store, and any value of string type you can store. Now, key, I'm saying first name and value is Roberta. And in the same employee details, I'm keeping first, last name, Singarati. And apply details dot put. I mean, like this, you can keep any number of key value pairs. Email. Like this. So now here what we are doing, in earlier examples, we were trying to store different objects, list of objects into a list or hash set. Now, in a map, we are trying to get all the details related to one particular situation as a key value pairs. Now, once you created a map, so your map is done. So now, how you can fetch the data from this map? So to fetch the map from this, let's say zip out. I'm saying first name. I'm trying to fetch first name. To fetch the details based on the key, employee details, that's the map we are using, dot get. And key. You need to give a key. What key you want to fetch? So just first name. So this should be case sensitive. Whatever you given here, that key should exactly match. Then whenever this line is executed, it will fetch the value associated with the key. So that means it should print Govardhan. Now let's go back and do map. I'm just changing this, calling the newly created method. Now run. And you can see first name, Govardhan. So like that, you can fetch any key from the map. Employee details dot get. Last name. Now let's run through the same code. So now I fetched both first name and last name from the hash map. Now, so this is fine. I mean, I stored some key and values I was able to fetch based on the key. Let's say I wanted to fetch, iterate over every key and fetch every value. That is also possible. Rather than fetching hard-coded like this, you can do that. To do that, there are methods available in hash map, employee details dot, you can see here, key set. So key set means it will collect all the keys. That means in our example, first name, last name, email. These are the three different keys available inside the hash map. So when I say key set, this will return me only keys available in this map. Meaning now here set. This set will have first name, last name, email. Now I'm printing keys. Now you will see keys dot Google. Let's run this program. Now you can see first name, last name, email. So when you say key set, it will return all the keys available in a map. Once you get the keys, you can loop through that because it's a set. I mean, just like how you loop through the set yesterday, we are going to use the same thing. What type of set it is? String type. Keys. Now. So now I'm looping through one by one. Now you can see I'm just printing key. Okay. Now and I'm also trying to fetch the value associated with each key. To do that, you can just say employee details dot get key. We are passing key, that is, you are getting loop through, right? I mean, you have the key and printing the key and printing the value by using get key. Now you can see key first name Govardhan, key last name value go Singareddy, key email, and like this you can iterate over all the keys and you can fetch every value based on it. Any questions so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now you have only one employee. Assume that like you have multiple employees. So can I store it in the same way? Or it's only for one particular employee?
It's only, usually it should be only one particular employee. Let's say you have multiple employees, that you can still do that. So now I'm just changing the variable name as sorry. 1 minute. Just a minute, I'm changing the variable name. Control, oh, no, sorry. Okay, now I'm changing the one hash map as employee details one, meaning one employee details. Similarly, you can create any number of employee details. So meaning I'm going to create one more hash map.
Employee have to create a...
Yes. So one more, I'm going to create employee 2, and it's employee 2 object, right? So I'm changing all the variables. Now first name is another employee.
Yeah, in employee details when we can't give the another employee details.
I didn't get you.
Like in employee details one, can't we give another employee details like another first name?
No,
Bala.
the keys cannot be duplicated. That's why, when you do the key set, it is returning only set, meaning the keys cannot be duplicated. So what happens is, if you are duplicating a key like this, something like, so when you are fetching get key, which key it should get? So it will get confused. What will happen is, if you do like this, hash map first key value pair will be stored as first name Govardhan. When the second line is executed, it will not insert a new key and value pair. It will override the first key with a updated value. So keys cannot be duplicated.
Okay. And instead of using put, can we use add?
No, you cannot use add. Add is available only for list and set. Add method is not there for employee details. Let me check. I don't think you will have that method. Employee details one dot and add. No, you don't have that method because you are storing it as a key and value pair. That's how they define the put method.
Yeah,
okay?
Got it.
So now you want to carry these two. What you have to do is the way we declared earlier, right? So lists, you have to create a list. What type of object you are storing? Map. Because we are trying to store maps. What type of maps it is? Key is string, value is string. Now here I am saying employee list is equal to new array list. Now once you have that, here you can say employee lists dot add, because it's an array list. Add map type employee 1, and then after the second employee map is created, you can do similarly. Employee list dot add employee 2. Now I have an array list. Each element in array list is a map, and that's why I created two different maps and added to array list. Once you have this, now in the previous example of for loop, what I can do is I'm adding a for loop, first for loop, which is map of string. I am trying to loop through employee list, employee. So now here I am going to use employee list. That's what I am looping through. I'm looping through an array list, and inside the loop I am moving another for loop. What I'm trying to do is, first I am looping through the main list, and then I am looping through internal. So each one is a map. So now here I am saying employee dot key set. So what I'm doing here, I'm looping through an array list. So each time we loop through, I get a map out. So once I get the map inside the loop, I'm trying to get the key set for that specific map, and then I'm trying to print key and value. Let's look at this, how it works. Now you can see key value, key value, key value, and then second array list object is also started. Key, no, why it is all the time only me? Let me see. It shouldn't be like that. There might be something wrong I made. Let's look at this. It should not be that.
For the second for loop, you have given the employee details 1.
Oh, I see. So this should not be that. This should be nothing but whatever the employee object, this one. Because we are looping through an employee object, that's why you need to use the same object that is written by the for loop. Now, it will print properly. Now you can see. So we are iterating over 2 hash maps, and we printed each hash map information. Any questions?
No questions.
Oh, okay. Now, this is how you can store, I showed you a simple example with string and string types. Now let's look at a different map with a custom objects. So here, I'll remove all this code and then we'll see how it goes. So yesterday we already created an employee class. Now we will try to store employee objects in the yeah, you can do that also. We'll see. So I'm going to create a new map again with string and objects value. I'm changing the value. Earlier we used string. Now I'm changing it to employee type. String should be plain string. Key should be a simple string, and value should be an employee object. Now you can say employee is equal to new hash map. And then now I'm trying to store employees dot put key first employee. I'm saying just key should be different. a new employee. Now, similarly, you can add any number of key value pairs, and I am adding second employee. And here I'll say, and so now like this, you can add any number of objects with a different keys. So once you have the map, just like the previous way, you can loop through keys and get the values. Now let's say for loop, and I'm trying to loop through keys. What is the key type? String. That's why I'm giving key string and employees dot key set. Now once I get the key, as previous I said, you can get each object with key. So now what is the return type of this? It will be an employee object because we are fetching employee object. Value is an employee, right? So we stored key as a string, value is an employee. When you say employees.getKey, the return type will be an employee object. Once you get the employee object, so you can print anything from that employee object. So now I'm trying to print first name, employee dot, because it's an object, so you can get anything, get first name or last name, whatever you wanted to print, you can print. So now let's look at, let's run this program and see. Now you can see first name Bala, first name Anurubha, because that's the two objects we store. So like this, you can mix and match however you like. So rather, if you want to change this, you can change this. Employee. In general, practical examples, what they usually do is we can create like this. If you are not sure of what is the value, you can say object, meaning every class in Java inherits object class. When you say object, that should be fine. So when you say object, you can store any type of object inside that. Now, so there is no error because employee is also just an object. So now once you have that, now you can store any type of object because you are given a value as generic object. Now I'm saying third. Now you can see I'm trying to store string, just a simple string. No problem, you can do that. And employees dot put now for fourth one, I am trying to store something else. What else we have? Did we have any other things? Suppose you want to store integers, you can still do that. Integer dot value of 10. Like this, you can store any type of object. Once you say object, this can take anything as a value. But the problem is, when you are fetching the get by key, it won't return employee object because you did mix and match here. So usually, I mean, just for demo purpose, I explain you like this. But in a real-time scenarios, nobody will store different types of values with a single hash map because fetching the values and playing around with this is a little bit tricky. Syntactically, you can do that, but it's a pretty tricky way of doing this. So I'll show you that how you can do that also. Because return type will be an object. why it gives me problem. Let's see. Yeah, I saved it, right? I think Eclipse is a little bit slower. Give me a minute. Now you see, the employee of getKey, it will return an object. Now, how you can use this data inside this? If employee, I'm just saying employee because the variable name that we use here as employee, instance of employee. If whatever the variable that you are fetching here, let's say I'm saying something like, value. I name it as a value. I'm saying value is instance of employee. Then you can typecast that value. I mean, I think you need to deep dive into the inheritance. So here I'm trying to typecast. I'm assigning to an employee type object. Employee EMP equal to So now, because if value, whatever the value you get, is of type employee object, then you can typecast that object to employee, and then once you get the typecast, and you can print whatever you want. I am saying first name. Now EMP is our object name dot get first name. So now no problem, this code will execute. Now you still get the same result, first name and last name. Let's say I remove this line. If instance, I'm not checking whether I type an employee object, just I am removing the if condition. Still syntactically, no problem, no errors. There is no compile time errors. But when you run, you will see the errors. See that? Class cast exception, meaning it's a runtime exception. So meaning what happened? What here says? Java. Let me maximize this. So now what it says? Java.lang.string. We stored in the map values, string values also in the same map. So a string value cannot be converted to an employee object. That's why you get class cast exception. So when you are storing different types of objects in a hash map, you need to be very careful what you are doing with it. Okay. So else if you wanted to use all this map, still you can do that. So here I'm saying else if value instance of. Instance means object of. Instance of string, then you can print plus value, whatever the value. Now it will print Arun. Third one also will come. Now you see Arun is also value is there, first name is there, you got all the data. Just like that, you can fetch any of the data. Else if value instance of integer, because we stored integer also.
I have a question. Like if you want to have only the third name, then how to write it?
You want only third one?
Yeah.
This one? So it's also just in a map, you stored third value with key value pair. So from the key, once you have the key value pair, you can simply say employee details dot get key. And key is third. That's it. We'll get that value.
Okay. We don't use index here.
No index. Hash map runs based on key and value base.
Okay.
So now here I am printing for this value, some value I am keeping it. Now let's look at now you got the fourth value and first name. We were able to go through all the map and we were able to get every value out. This is how you can mix and match with hash maps, list, hash set, however you want to play. You can play with these three different collections. Any questions?
Sir, could you please explain what is the value of, in if condition value of instance of employee?
Okay. So whatever the value you get is of object. Object is in Java world. Object is the parent class for every class that you define. That's why when you are typecasting to an object, you are not getting any problem because though you have an employee, its parent is an object. That's why I am assigning whatever the value I am getting to an object. Once I have that value, it's an object. So I am saying instance of employee. If whatever the value I am fetching is of object type employee, if it is an employee type object, then go inside. So instance of is nothing but it checks against whatever the object of what type, employee type or any custom type that you define. Okay, so now I'll show you what here. This dot out. I think I'll get that. Plus value dot get class. Now you will see the difference. Whatever the value of which type of class it is. Let's look at this. Now you see. The first value Arun is of java.lang.string. That's the class name. And the second one is integer. And the third one that you see here, employee object. That's what we created, right? So this is our custom object. So now value here is of different types you are getting here. So now here first what we are checking, whether value is of an employee class. Then go inside. String, this one, go inside. And integer, go inside. That's what we are checking with by using instance of. Is that clear?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
No
Okay.
questions. Yes.
So I will. That's it for today's class. I'll